And for more on today's talks, I'm joined now by Bruce Klingner. He's a former CIA Deputy Division Chief for Korea and is now with the Heritage Foundation. Bruce, do you see these talks as a tactic by North Korea to take the pressure off or a genuine strategic shift?
I think more of a tactic. What we have not seen Kim Jong-un do so far, like his father did, is a charm offensive, and this may be the beginning of that tactic. Every year in their New Year's Day speech, they extend an olive branch to South Korea. What's different this year is how quickly the new South Korean president grasped at that olive branch.
Do you think then that North Korea is also trying to drive a wedge between South Korea, which has been very concerned about the bellicose rhetoric, and the United States?
Very much so. That's been a typical tactic that they try to play up standard inter-Korean themes, saying that we can solve problems if we just do it without outside, i.e. U.S. influence, that we should work together as Koreans. So I think they're playing to that theme, and they're also playing to Moon's concern, President Moon's concern that there would be some kind of provocation during the Olympics.
Do you expect that North Korea now will not let off any more rockets until at least after the Olympics?
Well, they tend not to do things as much during the winter, and then we may expect a resumption of the robust missile launch schedule that we've had the last several years, but maybe in the spring.
But is it possible, too, that the very tough UN sanctions that the Americans really wanted and persuaded everyone else to go along with, that those are having an impact on Kim Jong-un, and that's also partly why he's taken this opportunity?
Right. Well, Kim Jong-un even admitted as much, that the sanctions were having an impact during his annual New Year's Day speech. So I think we see a couple of things. It's the sanctions having a bite, that they want to try to, undermine the international support for these sanctions, try to get some kind of concessions, particularly from Seoul. It's also a way of alternating provocations with a charm offensive, something that the predecessor North Korean leaders did. So I think there are a number of things at play here in Pyongyang's tactics.
And yet the North Koreans completely shut down, didn't they, when the South mentioned their nuclear program today? So is that, as far as you can see, off the table for Pyongyang?
Right. And as they said, that the talks on nuclear issues would only be between North Korea and the U.S. because, as they said, the nuclear weapons are only targeted at the United States. Now, that, of course, ignores many North Korean statements in the past threatening to turn Seoul into a sea of fire, threatening to sink the Japanese islands.
And yet, here in Washington, there's still a lot of talk, isn't there, about a bloody nose for North Korea, a limited strategic strike. Do you believe that's truly on the table?
I think it is. We're hearing differences in different parts of the government, that some are advocating a preventive attack, even if we don't feel an imminent fear of a North Korean attack, to do this preventive attack, perhaps a limited tactical kind of attack to send a signal to North Korea. But most observers and experts see that as very high risk, highly dangerous.
Bruce Klingner, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.